Well, good evening, everybody. It's a stormy one for some of us, those showers and thunderstorms moving in from the southwest to the northeast. That's the trend here. Some of those have really slowed down here over the past hour or so, and we're seeing a lot of lightning, especially in some of our southern communities as well. So, as I silence my phone here, trying to see what you guys are saying on Facebook. So far, just some people saying hello, and thanks for watching. But I'm going to show you where we got the thunderstorms right now so that you can have a heads up if they're heading your way. One of those just over past Metter going towards Statesboro. So over in the borough, you guys about to get in on some showers and thunderstorms. Let me time this one out for you. These have become a little bit more linear too compared to what they were. They're more of like a cluster earlier. Now it's a little bit more linear. So Statesboro, within about the next 20 minutes is when we're going to see these showers and thunderstorms, really the heavy rain move into your direction, and then after that going toward Brooklet after 9:30. So could get there a little bit quicker, but that's what we're looking at. You're definitely going to hear the thunder before you get that rainfall. But that's not the only area of thunderstorms that we're looking at right now, especially going towards southern McIntosh County there. You can see just some heavy rainfall with those reds. And then by Belleville Point, these are almost over the coast by now, but very heavy rainfall, concentrated pockets of heavy lightning, some positive lightning strikes in there. Very loud too. We just had a lightning strike here and some thunder very loud over the station about 5 minutes ago. If you're around Chatham Parkway, you probably heard that as well. But what we're seeing is as some of these thunderstorms die out, you're left with kind of some convection that's not as strong. So low country right now, mainly just dealing with light rainfall. Heavy downpour, though, up near the Hampton area. So be aware of that, but nothing severe for us after we did have one severe thunderstorm earlier. So there's the good news. It's a little bit more stormy to the north of us. In fact, going toward Greenville, South Carolina earlier this evening, there was a tornado warning. So nothing like that for us, thankfully, but just goes to show that these systems still can pack a punch, even if they're not necessarily the most organized. And the cold front that we've been talking about, pretty easy to spot there. When you're looking at the regional map, or really this half of the United States. This is just going to stay off to our north, though. It actually will increase our rain chances going here the next few days, but again, nothing severe. And it actually looks like Friday's going to be a bit drier, but once we get to the weekend, I'll bring you up to date on that here in just a moment. But first, let's look at these temperatures, and definitely cool down to 74 over in Hinesville right now because of the rain cold air. It is storming over in the Claxton area, so that 79 likely going to drop here as well. But just keep in mind that these are not severe storms. You've got the heavy rain, the lightning, the loud thunder, but they're not severe. In fact, the Chatham County area, specifically around I-16, got back into a drought category. So we actually need the rain over here along the coast more so than some other folks. And I'm going to show you some of these estimated rainfall totals, some of the highest that we've had today, because there have been some really small isolated pockets of very heavy rainfall. So this is what we're looking at right here. The Trinity area is really picked up about 3 inches. That's estimated just north of 144. And for folks that don't know exactly where that is, I'll zoom out so that you can tell where that is. That is northeast of Hinesville, that little yellow pocket there, about 3 inches of estimated rainfall. Notice a lot of Chatham County, especially the islands, missed out on measurable rainfall. The low country had one thunderstorm earlier just off to the east of I-95 that brought in almost an inch of rainfall. But again, a lot of this was very isolated for the heaviest of amounts. And we also saw just north of 119 by Screven Fork, almost 2 inches of estimated rainfall. Riceboro, you guys missed out on the heaviest rain. Midway, you got about just about half an inch of measurable rainfall. So again, tomorrow does not look as wet, which is good news because it's Friday night football. You guys have plans on Friday. You probably don't want it storming unless you want to go home from work and go to bed and rest, which sounds great. But for the areas that didn't get rain this evening still, how about feeling like 94 just after 9 o'clock in Beaufort? 91 is what it still feels like in Hilton Head. So even though there's some light rain in that area, not necessarily there, still got those feels like in the 90s. And it's fall now. but it's still very muggy. And we don't really have a huge cool down in the forecast, but we do have those temperatures more so in the 80s versus the 90s, and I'll show you that here in just a moment. So today, oppressive with those dew points in the 70s, and it's been this way for quite some time, other than a brief break we've had of a little bit drier air move in. But again, not a big change coming our way for that. So what I'm going to show you are the low temperatures here over the next few days. And let's see here. While this loads up, if you guys have any pictures of lightning or storms that you got today, feel free to send them in. You can send them in on the WTOC weather app or to my Facebook page or in the meteorologist Facebook page or the stations too. We'd love to see your pictures, and I like showing you pictures on air. I'm going to try to do that if I get some tonight. I'll show that on the news at 11. But here's something that a lot of people have been wanting would be these lows to start going down a little bit. Now, it's not much, but over the next handful of mornings, we're going to see the temperatures drop about 4 to 5 degrees back into the upper 60s. Now, this is well above where we should be this time of the year, where the average lows are mid 60s. We're just not getting that relief, but it's just hanging on to that heat for us here. And believe me, my AC and my electricity bill definitely want that break just as much as you guys do. But just giving you guys what's going on there. We can't change the weather, but we can tell you what's going on. Now, this isn't going to make a ton of people the most happy, and it's not making me happy either with rain back in the forecast for this weekend, but there's always a silver lining, right? We do have some of these showers and thunderstorms that will cause these highs to be more so in the 80s. So let's look at the bright side here. Low 90s back with us tomorrow, especially with the rain chance not as high. There still will be showers, thunderstorms around. Just not as high, not as good a coverage as what we're seeing today. But looks like it's going to be like the last day of a widespread 90s for us, which is always good whenever you go to fall. You kind of get ready for the cooler temperatures. Now, they're really not going to follow very quickly, but mid 80s to upper 80s, of course, with the mugginess going to feel like the lower 90s, but it's a start. It's something. And looking at long range models, I really don't feel comfortable in saying we're going to cool down much until maybe October 5th, or in the past, you got to look at where the ridge is, things like that, when that's actually going to allow us to get some of that cooler air. Looks like the East Coast could get a bout of cool air coming our way. It's still going to be a little while because Monday is the 1st, so we're already coming to an end here with September, with October starting on Monday. But then maybe by the end of the week, next week, when we're talking a week from now, is when we might have some cooler temperatures, hopefully just on our doorstep. If you want them, I know not everybody wants the cooler temperatures. So that is what's going on now. For those of you that joined a little bit late, just know that the showers and thunderstorms that I'm about to show behind me here, nothing's severe. There are some frequent lightning strikes out there and some thunder, but we're not worried about anything severe this evening, which is great news. I know some people coming on in here saying there's some good rain, a little bit noisy, had a light show. Gabby's there asking if the storm's going to be coming to Port Wentworth. I can zoom in there for you and show you. Looks like you're going to kind of be caught in the middle of these thunderstorms. There's one well off to your north, another one to the south. This is going to move this way. So Port Wentworth looks like you're just going to get some moderate rainfall. You could see some lightning off in the distance, but you're going to be okay. Real briefly, just want to give you an update on the tropics. Another one coming up tonight on the news at 11. But if you're not going to be up, I'll give it to you now. And we're seeing this formation, this area of convection, the showers, thunderstorms, the circulation in this area here. This is Tropical Storm Kirk. Now, we've had a break from the tropics for a little while, at least here for us in the low country and coastal empire, and that looks like it's going to continue. So here's Kirk, 50-mile-an-hour sustained winds, west-northwest at about 14 miles an hour. But watch what happens. This is good news here. The center of circulation here, not only does it stay relatively weak, but it stays south of landmass. So you got San Juan, Puerto Rico, Haiti, the Dominican, everything looks like it's going to stay relatively south of that. So that's always great news. Now, we also have post-tropical cyclone Leslie that's just way out in the middle of the North Atlantic, and it's got a very good chance of becoming Leslie again, just possibly becoming a hurricane. But I just want to show you where this is. It is way out in the middle of the Atlantic. No cause for concern for us. And down here is where Kirk is. So we're looking good right now. So I hope that you guys can rest easy. Maybe a good night to go to bed early with the rain outside, or just to relax, because right now, other than the heavy rain and the lightning for some of us, there's really no reason to be concerned about the weather, and that's not even concerning either. It makes for good sleeping weather, which I will be doing here after the 11, thankfully. But if you guys have questions and I missed them, if I didn't address exactly what you guys were asking, I'm going to go back here on my phone, look at what you guys were chatting about here, and hopefully get those questions answered for you. If I missed them, you can always shoot me a message. Inbox is always open for those weather-related questions on Facebook. It's just Andrew Gorton, pretty simple. And I hope to chat with you guys soon, and I'll be back for the news at 11.